Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. In this particular game, I'm going to play the Greenskins, and I think we're going to face the Warriors of Chaos. So we're going to go ahead and get Skarsnik. I definitely haven't been playing him much, but looking forward to trying him out. He does have anti-large armor piercing and also has a poison attack, so in a duel situation, hopefully he'll be pretty good. One of the issues is that, against the dive, he's a little bit squishy with only 50 armor, so you have to be relatively careful with him, and he doesn't have any means of healing either. So we're going to get two Goblin Big Bosses here, put them on these lovely spiders to make sure we can poison our Chaos friends over there. Probably don't want three, that's maybe a little bit overkill, so we're going to get that guy as well, make sure to put him on the spider. I just love the poison against Manticores, and all types of big, powerful Chaos units. It's pretty good to have that poison on those elite infantry. We're also going to get an Orc Shaman. I just want to have a little bit of mobility. With the Night Goblin Shaman, he's a pretty good choice, and he is, stealth, essentially. But, when he does get exposed, he can get killed so quickly by the Chaos Sword and the Manticore, so I like to have him on a little pig so he can scurry around and get away. So we're going to keep the Fists of Gork here, and there we go. Not Fist, is that Fist of Gork? That is. And, oh man, it's so tempting to keep the Foot of Gork. It's such a fun ability. So I don't think I'm going to get it this time. I've just been failing horribly with it, but maybe for future games. We're going to get the Crimson Killers, just for thematics because they're so darn cool. We're going to get several groups of Black Orcs. Then we're also going to mix in some Biggins, so we're going to go with more of a traditional build rather than the Gobbo build. So this is a pretty strong infantry corps, and even if we get one more group of Biggins, that's going to be very, very hard for our opponent to deal with. So let's see, what else do we want to get? Probably some Orc Boarboy Biggins would be pretty good in this matchup. So we're going to get two of those. We'll probably cut a single group of those Biggins just to kind of diversify our army just a little bit. And let's see what else we want to get. Probably the Rusty Errors. They're so good. Such a strong unit. I mean, even the Rusty Errors in a single group of Goblin Archers can be pretty devastating to the opponent's forces. So just mitigating and sundering that armor is so incredible. I've had so many games where I haven't been paying attention, and the Rusty Errors have just kind of opened up on my Lord, and he just gets burned down quick. So honestly, against the Warriors of Chaos, I think getting like a group of Squigs wouldn't be terrible either. Though, yeah, they're not going to bring Halberds probably, and they do have some, mostly heavily armored infantry, so I think Squigs wouldn't be a bad choice. Let's see, maybe we can kind of cut corners a little bit and just go down to the Wolves. Probably not. We want to keep those spiders, but what could I cut? I could cut the Crimson Killers. I feel guilty doing that, so we could get rid of Slippery. That's something I usually like to do when I'm pinching pennies, so we'll get rid of those. And the Goblin Archers, though, I like to have the two groups. But maybe just the one is fine, because we really just need the armor sundering here. So that'll allow us to get a group of Squigs. So that's going to be pretty excellent. And let's see, is there anything I want to cut from Skarsnik? The Missile Parry, yeah, to be honest, it does give expert charge defense, which isn't terrible, but I don't know if we need that right now. So we're going to get rid of that, and that will allow us to get another Goblin Archer. So let's see, what other abilities does he have here? So he does have the Tricksy Traps, which is pretty cool. So it gives speed, leadership. The leadership's pretty nice on that, for sure. We have Wah, and then his staff. I don't know if you guys have had any experience with it. Let me know if you think it's good. I haven't really tried it or play tested it. I probably should, but if you found that it's pretty good in those kind of duelist situations or sniping or whatever its purpose is, let me know. I'd be interested to know. So we have a pretty strong infantry corps. We cut into it a little bit to get the Squig Herd and the Orc Boarboy Biggins, but Manticore spam is very, very popular now. So I definitely have to have those anti-large units to account for that. And the Chaos Sword too is just an absolute force to be reckoned with. So if he lands and starts to burn down Skarsnik really quickly with Lure of Fire, which a good charge from the Chaos Sword with the Flaming Sword of Ruin can literally chunk a quarter of your guys' HP, if not more. So you need to be able to retaliate and really punish them, and that's also why I like to get the Goblins with the poison, because they're able to kind of reciprocate and lock them down and allow your other troops and the Rusty Errors to fire on them and all that type of stuff. So one thing that I am omitting from my army is the Doomdiver Catapult. I always like to get at least one, but I wanted to play a little bit more of an aggressive style this game, so hopefully it will pay off for me. But man, I love Doomdivers. Definitely one of my favorite siege units in the game, just so darn strong. But the Squigs, definitely scary for Chaos a little bit. Yeah, but he might get Halberds, who knows. You can never really anticipate that. So we'll get the Black Orcs here. They're just going to be front and center. They're ready to give the business. We'll put the Biggins in the wings just so they're a little bit more mobile, I think, actually. Do they have 31 speed? Oh, it's pretty negligible, the difference there. So we're just going to actually do a fairly wide line. I usually don't like to do that, but in this situation, we're going to try and hopefully envelop. I'm not sure, because Chaos can have pretty small infantry corps, so we're going to put these guys back here. Looking good so far. We'll put Papa Skarsnik here, and his two, we'll probably put the Goblin Big Boss with the Cav here, so he can roam around and poison whatever their target is. And we will put the second one with the main force here. It's nice to have that kind of tertiary encouragement in your front line, so we're going to put those guys there, these guys here, and the Shaman, of course, you probably want to keep them high and tight with Skarsnik, so if any of them do get dove, they can, help each other out. So we're going to go here like that, and then we have our Goon Squad back here, which is just going to follow our main force, and then the Squigs. Let's have a little bit of fun. So let's put them over here, and we just got to make sure they're hidden at first. you know, it doesn't really matter. Let's see here. Can they be hidden over here? I think so. You got to be hidden somewhere in here. Why is it not working? I'm just failing horribly right now. There we go. Okay, perfect. So now my opponent would see those, and they're kind of in a position where they can sneak around. So we'll go ahead and ready up and see how this goes. So my opponent, his forces, oh, that's a pretty big Chaos Army, actually. So he might have gone with like a Marauder build or, you know, kind of a Horde style build, which will be a little bit tough. Thankfully, I do have 2 groups of big ones, which will do pretty well. But oh my goodness, what is that? Does he have just like mass poison warhounds over there? These squigs better start running for the hills. That's for sure. So is that Kolek? This is such a strange army. And then he just has some like Chaos Warriors, Marauders, and all kinds of funny business going on. So man, I gotta just cross court here. So this is gonna be really hard to protect my back line. But the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, to be honest, should be able to beat most of this stuff. Like, these Chaos Poison Warhounds are very low leadership. They're at 46. So maybe he's fishing to see what I have going on, but hey, you always got to give people props for trying out these new compositions. But he's going to have a bad day with my infantry for sure. My guys are pretty far superior in terms of unit quality, I think. And what are these? These are Chaos Warriors, and these are some Aspiring Champs. So yeah, probably just keep the squigs with my infantry and just charge them in after the Black Orcs. I think that should be fine. So here, we're probably going to pull this guy, put him in group 2. So just get that extra Goblin Big Boss over there. And then we can probably pull Skarsnik as well. Although having him in the front line is pretty nice. So we're going to go ahead and engage there. We'll get the Black Orcs on the armor-piercing units. And we'll get the Crimson Killers in here as well. And we'll get these guys going here. And then we'll also get the Squigs in there. Cool. So right now, we just got to posture up. Oh my goodness, I was not paying attention to that. So we get a little bit of a charge. Not the best situation, but we're going to use the Fist of Gork over here. And we're also going to probably pull Skarsnik to help deal with this guy. And then also we want to get our 2 missile troops here and have them focusing on Kolek. Absolutely. So far so good. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's happy. We're going to use Ere We Go over here because this is definitely the essential point of the battle. We do need to get those gobos firing ASAP. I was a little sloppy on that. My opponent's forces are doing some pretty good damage here, but thankfully they're going to fire in and sunder that armor. You got to check the Orc Boars, and they're taking a beating for sure. So I might want to just, you know, reallocate my forces to the front line. And it looks like, yeah, the terror mechanic. So very interesting use of Kolek there. You don't see that terribly often. So he is coming in right now, pretty hot. So we're going to detach the Crimson Killers back here to help out because I think the front line engagement's going pretty well. The Squigs are in here. They're feasting, doing their thing, and my Orc Boars did rout off and get terrified, but they should be fine, to be honest. So right now we're just going to keep working here, and actually I can probably pull Skarsnik out to help right here. That should be fine. So I do have the Potion of Foolhardiness here, so we're probably going to use that just so he becomes unbreakable just while we're fighting. Just kind of work through it the best we can. So the Crimson Killers are coming back here. Hopefully I can get them to this engagement, and these guys are back online, so we can use them to charge in there. And let's see, what else do I have going on? So Skarsnik's coming back. He's kind of been messing around on me a little bit, but he's trying his best, guys. He's trying his best. So the Crimson Killers are here. We'll pull them back to help out with these Warhounds, which should be fine. And we're going to pull him back and then get a nice little charge in here with the Orc Boars that we have left. So yeah, the front line's going pretty well, I would say. I would say my big uns are making some good progress here. We're also going to get him here. We're going to use this, all that fun stuff. And you do get a nice little rear charge. And it looks like my missile troops are still firing on Kolek. So we want to get the Rusty Arrows to make sure they're firing, and it looks like they are, so that's pretty good. And I do have the Crimson Killers back here who are just putting in some serious work. So let's go ahead and buff them up because they are in a very, very hard fight. And you can see the Squigs actually in here are doing a pretty good job in the actual melee engagement. And finally, a lot of these hounds are starting to rout off. So Skarsnik, unfortunately, is taking quite a bit of damage, but he does have anti-large and poison. And then the Rusty Arrows also sundering his armor down to 18. It's really big, so that focus fire is going to be very devastating. So let's go ahead and make sure to use Ere We Go here. So very well played on my opponent. He has a very unique army composition. Definitely caught me off guard, and I didn't expect the hounds to close in on me that fast, but unfortunately Kolek with that focus fire, it's going to be bad. But the hounds do come back from rout. Pretty timely for him, but I think it might be too late for our friend Kolek here. So I did also kind of slop up with these guys a little bit, but it's okay. They get terrified, and it's kind of hard to account for all that, to be honest. So Skarsnik's in here, and it looks like Kolek should be able to get chased off by those guys. So we don't need to chase too far, so let's go ahead and turn around here, get Skarsnik back in here as well. Start to protect our gobos the best we can. The Black Orcs are holding up pretty darn well in the front line. The Squigs are also doing very well. And let's see what buffs we have. So we can use that right there in that nice pocket. And you can see the Crimson Killers. I'm interested to see their kills after this game. How well they did and what they racked up and everything. And the Biggins have done quite exceptionally out there on the flank. So we want to get this guy away. And do I have some? Yeah, they're still chasing Kolek. We need to make sure he stays off the battlefield. So anytime you're able to rout a very substantial lord like that, definitely keep him, do your best to keep him off the battlefield. So we would need to get this Orc Shaman back as well. And we probably want to reform our missile troops. And what is that? Well, I thought that was Kolek. I was like, God, how is he back already? So he's chasing around this goblin here. So we need to get Skarsnik with that armor piercing. It's going to be really good. So we'll pull the Crimson Killers. who hit like trucks. So with his armor pierced and then the Crimson Killers on him, he's just going to get decimated. This is going to be brutal. So we're going to use the nice little leadership buff there to help out. And my opponent's still putting up a good fight in that front line. It's definitely not one-sided. So the squigs in here, I think they're in many ways have made the difference in that front line. So very, very happy that I actually ended up sending them that way. So we'll go ahead and get these Chaos Marauders. We're going to keep the Gobbo Archers focusing that Shaggoth over there. And it looks like, is he coming back in? That's a bold move. I'm not sure why those Gobbos are charging. I must have misclicked or something, which I do quite often. You know, I drink a lot of coffee, so my mechanics are a little bit jittery, and also I actually had a pretty horrible case of wrist tendonitis, so my hands are a little shaky naturally, so definitely have to account for that. So we'll see how it goes. But in the front line, I accidentally pulled some Black Orcs, which is okay. You know, they're just trying to do their best. But that Shaggoth is definitely just getting punished. I think we got rid of Kolek. It looks like, is that him over there? How is he still there? Man, he was able to come back because I think he's quite a bit faster than those guys. Or no, he can't be, actually. So we're going to pull these missile troops over here. We're going to pull these guys back over here to help out because he actually did do pretty well over there. He was able to clean up my eastern flank, it looks like, or whatever direction that was. Let's pull these guys here, and let's get the squigs back here as well. And then that Shaggoth should be dealt with shortly. So we're going to use this nice little buff to speed up my guys. You can see it gets in there pretty quick, and the squigs are able to detach and kind of start gnawing on those guys, which is a pretty good situation. So we're going to get our missile troops focusing there, and we do have some big ones coming back from route. So do we have any other troops that are kind of routed off anywhere? I know we probably have some in the far depths of the world, and it looks like they were able to kill Kolek, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and get Skarsnik, just have him focus these troops down. I think we're getting there, guys. I think we're finally starting to wrap this battle up. It was very, very well fought. You know, my opponent not having the Lord is going to be very tough, and the Shaggoth is definitely getting focused down by these lads here, and they're doing a pretty darn good job. So I think that's all she wrote. So very well played to my opponent. It's a very fun game, and caught me off guard, to say the least. Like, that initial engagement with my Orc boars, I got leveled. I got freaking leveled. So it was a combination of poor micro and just very well executed on my opponent's part. One issue with his army, I would say, is not having any Lores of Magic. He just went all in with that kind of mobile build. I think he was actually planning on taking out my Orc boars and then running amok from there. But thankfully, Skarsnik and you know, the other troops and the Crimson Killers with the 156 kills were able to detach, and then the Rusty Heirs were able to focus down Kolek. So yeah, it was very well played, very fun game. So look forward to seeing you again on Ladder, my friend. I hope you guys enjoyed that Greenskin cast, or Gobbo cast, or Skarsnik cast, or whatever you'd like to call it. So anyways, have an excellent night, guys, and take care.